of an all-new edition of Pro Wrestling Show. SummerSlam is here, where we have Predict the Outcome. Here, where we talk about the matches, the previews, the latest rumors, and everything in window about WWE SummerSlam coming your way this Sunday. Plus hot topics as a national legendary promotion decides to part ways. And gonna be the big news that it came out to be about doing their own TV show, and more pro wrestling news where Matt Riddle continues to feud with WCW legends. As all new edition of the Pro Wrestling Show start right now. Welcome once again to the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host as always, Kid Dix here. Glad you can join us in that conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect. Don't forget to subscribe, tell a friend, call a friend, notify a friend, hit the subscribe button. Make good content for you and want to provide you the best content we can possibly here on the Pro Wrestling Show. So let's get to it with no ring reports this week from Raw to SmackDown. We're going to do the SummerSlam, predict the outcome for SummerSlam 2019. All right, we're going to do the first half, and then we'll have the second half later on the show. So let's get started with one match that I'm intrigued that happened that you never did expect was going to happen, but it was a build-up to it. A short build-up, but hey, it is what it is. Trish Stratus takes on Charlotte Flair. Trish Stratus returns to her hometown of Toronto, where SummerSlam will be held in the Scott Banks Center, where the Toronto Raptors won the NBA Championship this past couple of months. Now Trish Stratus comes home to fight Charlotte Flair after Charlotte Flair issued a challenge that she didn't have a match at SummerSlam. And this whole thing escalated when Charlotte Flair appeared to gold Trish Stratus on, where Trish appeared on the King's Court on Jerry the King Lawler's talk show, and Charlotte called out Trish of being has-been, a legend. Trish disputed the claim, saying that she's a trailblazer. She blazed the trail for Charlotte to continue on with the women's evolution. And now it comes to a head where these two legendary champions battled out at SummerSlam. Charlotte, 9-time women's champion, where Trish is a 7-time women's champion. Is we seeing the version of passing the torch between Trish Stratus and Charlotte, where my prediction is Charlotte will win this match, but she will earn Trish Stratus' respect, and Charlotte would thus earn Trish Stratus' respect, vice versa. And Trish will finally have that farewell match that she always wanted, and she always got the opportunity to do, and she does it with Charlotte. But, I believe that Charlotte's going to win. And it was kind of intriguing where Trish Stratus returned on Raw and had a mixed tag team match with Natalya and Becky Lynch and Charlotte, which I didn't think they would be alone, but they did. And then the following night on SmackDown, where they had the final on face-to-face, and Trish Stratus interrupted Charlotte, and Charlotte got the upset, and Trish slapped Charlotte in the face. So it's going to be really interesting to see these two legends. Charlotte not a legend, Charlotte's getting into being a legend, where the Trailblazer versus the Revolutionary at SummerSlam. Also, another surprising match that I didn't see coming, but it was short as well, as Bill Goldberg returns to the ring at SummerSlam to take on the cocky, arrogant Dolph Ziggler, who's been touring up a path against legends and superstars. Now, Dolph Ziggler had name dropped Bill Goldberg's name so many times that Bill Goldberg came out of retirement and wanted to defend his name and defend his honor and his pride. And now Goldberg has that shot where we assumed that it was going to be Ziggler versus Miz. We thought Ziggler was going to go against Shawn Michaels at one point. That didn't turn out to be the case. But Shawn Michaels will be the guest enforcer. And I expect Goldberg to defeat Dolph Ziggler in about under 30 seconds to a minute at this match. And I think Goldberg will be sent on to the sunset and come back again when someone tries to provoke him or calls his name out. They're just trying get build up for SummerSlam as everything keeps on rolling and stuff. Speaking of everything keeps on rolling, what about Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt? Now you remember merely 2 years ago, this is sort of like a SummerSlam rematch where Bray went against Finn Balor the Demon. And I keep trying to tell people out there, why did WWE didn't do Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt, the Demon, Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt, and Fiend? You know, I guess there's no rumors and circulations going on in the windows about Finn Balor might, go off and come back after when WWE debuts on Fox, return and take a little short break, a short sabbatical. But expect the Fiend to win over his matches. Fiend has been looking strong as of late, taking out legends such as Mick Foley and this past week Kurt Angle and a host number of superstars. So the Fiend, they want to continue that momentum as the Fiend being scary. Now, Vince Russo made a good point too that why haven't WWE never thought about the Fiend, the Demon, and Aleister Black, the trio of terror ran rampant in WWE. So I did it possible to get ratings and be like Saul, and October's rolling coming down soon. So they might have to do that down the road and stuff. Think about that, WWE. Also, the Cruiserweight Championship is on the line as Drew Gulak defends against Oney Lorcan. Oney Lorcan won through a 6-pack challenge on this week's edition of 205 Live. Expect this match to be the kickoff match on the kickoff show at SummerSlam. And Oney Lorcan went through other cruiserweights to get this opportunity. When I watch 205 Live, I think Oney Lorcan has a shot and a chance. And let's see how he will go over. And I expect Drew Gulak to retain, but they're going to have a program where Oney Lorcan continue to chase Drew Gulak for the goal. So expect that match. So expect that match. It's going to have cruiserweights that give their all. You have to give their due diligence and stuff. Speaking of that, the United States Championship is online at SummerSlam as champion AJ Styles defends his goal against Ricochet. Who else Ricochet went through a gauntlet match to earn the opportunity to wrestle AJ Styles. This is sort of like a rematch. AJ beat Ricochet a couple weeks ago and turned heel, thus the process with the club, with the OC, they call themselves, akin to Fox, I guess, and now they want to, Styles looking forward to defend his goal against Ricochet one more time in the instant classic. They said this would be the match of the night between Styles and Ricochet because they both bring different offensive styles to the match. Big high flying, high spot maneuver, Ricochet with his different maneuvers as well. So I suspect AJ will retain the United States Championship and he will chase Ricochet. Ricochet and him will continue their program on to the next month. So expect that happening. All right. That ends the first half of the SummerSlam predict the outcome card. We'll have more later on. But when we return, we're going to have hot topics as NWA decides to part ways Ring On, and then they announced that they're going to have a TV pilot in a city that most people know is a hotbed for wrestling. And then plus Matt Riddle calls out WCW legend, and you won't believe who's on his hit list. Stay tuned as the All New Pro Wrestling Show returns. Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, KDX. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend, call a friend, subscribe. We appreciate you subscribing. If you don't know how much that means, when you subscribe, you care about the Pro Wrestling Show. We care about making content for you, the audience out there. And we thank you. We appreciate you. And we're going to do our best due diligence to make sure every week that you get the weekly episodic show here on the Connect TV YouTube channel. Thank you again. All right, let's get to hot topics. All right, on hot topics this week. Man, oh man. Speaking of things are looking far ahead for the NWA. NWA started as a legendary promotion where it had different people, different groups, and they had one world champion going around. And now the NWA did do a partnership with Ring of Honor. Now they decided to part ways with Ring of Honor. And now Billy Corgan wants to take another step. He wants to make sure the NWA continues on that legacy. And Billy Corgan said that the NWA will do a TV pilot. So they want to do a TV pilot in Atlanta. Atlanta, hotbed for wrestling. Atlanta, where WCW was born, Georgia Championship Wrestling was born, and now the NWA will call the weekly TV studios home. You got to wonder there, the NWA doing all that, would they kind of go to the power plant or Center Stage or somewhere in Atlanta? So you got to wonder, you got to be curious to know what the NWA going to land. You got Madness, you got James Storm, and you got Eli Drake under the NWA banner. So we'll see how this goes and how the details be about the NWA taping in Atlanta. So it should be good. Speaking of the NWA champion Nick Aldis appeared on a magazine and said that he turned down AEW. He said Aldis stated that AEW offered him a contract and he was going to have to drop the NWA belt and be more dedicated to AEW. Madness didn't want to do that. Madness wanted to do both shows, NWA and AEW. But Madness, true to his heart, he wanted to stay as the NWA champion. So Madness decides to, stick it out. So we'll see. But, I hope Madness knows what he's doing because, it can be make or break when it comes to that. But, we'll see. Because AEW got a TV deal. The NWA did not mention that they secure a TV deal. You got to wonder too, if the NWA want to be real serious, you got to have national television, or what they're doing now with the YouTube and stuff. If YouTube works for you, go with that. MLW doing it. So now these national TV cable companies are not trained and focused on wrestling, just like AEW got lucky. Because they was different and stuff. So hey, it is what it is. That. Speaking of that, we talked about last week paying tribute to legendary NWA champion Harley Race. Well, an interesting note that Harley Race had medical bills and none of the Mr. McMahon paid all his medical bills. And that was told by Trevor Murdoch, who wrestled in WWE. And Trevor Murdoch said that Mr. McMahon paid for all of Harley Race's bills. So that was kudos to Mr. McMahon, paid null and void Harley Race's bill. And so, hey, Mr. McMahon might not be a bad guy. People thank you. Some people, that's how it is. Speaking of that, Matt Riddle fused with WCW.
What a knee bar, bro. What a knee bar.
And then he picked a fight.
You make me mad. You're making me mad. Keep it up. Keep it up, bro. And even Booker T chimed in. Let's look at what Booker T had.
You got somebody who wants to step inside the Hall of Fame. Should we bring him in, Book?
Do it. Do it now.
All right, let's go to I think it's Daryl or Darrell. You're in the Hall of Fame. Welcome on the air. What's your question for Booker T?
Man, I thank y'all for listening to me again, but I need to find out the answer, man. Your boy Matt Riddle was throwing shots at Booker T and Chris Jericho and Lance Storm, man. What's up with that, man?
All right, appreciate that, Daryl. Appreciate that, Daryl. We got to talk about this book. I like that Daryl brought this up. A few.
They'll just say, let's just put it out there.
Yeah, now that it's out there, let's talk about it. A few weeks ago on the show, you were critical of Matt Riddle's criticism of Bill Goldberg and said, hey, before you criticize somebody else's work, you need to step your game up. Since then, Lance Storm has had a couple of comments about Matt Riddle, and Chris Jericho, as most recently as last night, at the time we're doing this, I think it was Sunday night, told Matt Riddle, hey, you need to listen and learn, kid, about the business and how we go about things. Matt Riddle then posted a video on his Twitter account, and we have a clip from it. I want to play the clip book, and then I want to get your reaction. This is Matt Riddle on Twitter today. Hold on. We're going to get it up here. This is Matt Riddle right now. Okay, we're having a little bit of a technical difficulty. We're having a technical difficulty. Sorry about that, Book. But
Matt, Isley still want to get in there.
Isley still want to get in. But Matt Riddle did talk about all the WCW guys, and he said, Lance Storm wants to bring something up. Then Chris Jericho wants to bring something up. Goldberg wants to bring something up, and Booker T. Now here's the clip. We figured it out. Here's the clip. Let's react to it.
I'm just gonna say this. I don't know what's going on with all these WCW guys. Legitimately. Chris Jericho, you came at me. I don't know why you're saying listen and learn, kid. I'll beat the shit out of you. I don't understand that. I don't get it. You're soft as hell. Maybe back in your prime, but even then I would have beat the shit out of you then. So listen and learn from me, bro. All right. And Booker T, I really like you, Booker T. Really didn't want any heat with you. But you said I couldn't work, and I'm pretty sure if you watch a couple of my matches, you'll probably realize you were really wrong about that. So that's it. I want everybody to know where I'm coming from, because I'm a pretty sweet guy.
Well, that was Matt Riddle. That's what he said. He said he don't want to smoke with Booker T. I think that he's probably a smart man for that. But, Book, what do you think about Matt Riddle's comments today?
Wow. I've been saying that it's all over the internet. And my thing is, it's kind of hard. It's kind of, hard as far as I don't know how should I take it. Me personally, I know if I was a young guy in the business, and someone like Chris Jericho gave me a little bit of advice. Someone like Chris Jericho, be that as it may, what the guy's working at right now, but if Chris Jericho was to give me some words of advice, he might be one of the guys to listen to just because of the career that he's had. Chris Jericho has been one of those guys to have been not the biggest guy in the locker room, but when Chris Jericho went out and performed, he worked 6'4" tall. He was 250 pounds. That's the way he worked. That's why Chris Jericho rose to the level of success that he did. When WWE brought Chris Jericho in 2000, it was Y2J. It was that big. It was the countdown. It was like the New Year's going off. That's how big it was when Chris Jericho made his arrival in the company. And it didn't stop there. The guy went on to have great matches with, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, The Rock. And when a guy like that is giving you some words of, wisdom, I don't think Chris was shooting at him or coming at him or anything. It didn't sound like it.
Not
just
to me.
Said, very, very simple. What was the quote?
He told Matt Riddle based off a passage. Another person put out a tweet from Chris Jericho's book where Jericho kind of essentially said, you got to respect the elders, especially in the promos, know where you're coming from. And all Jericho did was retweet it, tag Riddle in it, and said, listen and learn.
Which was almost like, hey, man, listen and learn, because that's what this business is really about, listening and learning. When The Rock said, know your role and, shut your mouth, that's true. Know your role and shut your mouth. When guys back in the day didn't know their role, they didn't last very long in the business. So my thing is this, hopefully Matt Riddle will go on and have a great career, but I don't think it's, in the octagon, calling guys out to a fight, it may be wise. But out in real life, calling a man out to a fight is just not wise, because, fighting these days is not something men do outside the octagon. People get hurt really bad. So the guy could have a great career. Hopefully he will. We'll see. We'll find out in the long run.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with speaking your mind about stuff, but you also, like you said, it's a brotherhood, and you gotta respect your elders. But I mean, I will say, he's a smart man for not wanting any smoke with Booker T. I will say, that.
well, not only that, the same road you go up, you go down that same road. And that road, is all going to be, how much, how much you put into, making sure that road is, passable on the way back. You know what I mean? Because some of those bridges, they may have been, knocked down. You know what I mean? There might be a whole lot of potholes in the road on the way down that you didn't have on the way up. You know what I mean? And one thing about guys like Riddle, in 10 years, I don't know how old he is now, but in 10 years, he's going to be 10 years older. And there's some young guy going to be saying the same thing about him if he happens to make it that far.
Hey, that's facts from the Hall of Famer himself. Once again,
Booker T chimed in about the Matt Riddle situation. It's like Matt Riddle be in a fight with Jericho, Booker T. I guess Matt Riddle said something about Booker T, about his in-ring. Booker T said something that he needs to work on his in-ring skill. I look at it like this. If Matt Riddle's in WWE already and WWE sees something Matt Riddle must be doing something right, because it's a hard process getting WWE. I know AEW might not be hard because they just take anybody they can get and go along with that. So it's kind of hard on that, but it is what it is on that. Matt Riddle must be doing something right. If he got into the door of WWE and they was watching him, talent scouts watching him, so he must be doing something right. No offense to Booker T. I like Booker T. I like Matt Riddle. But Matt Riddle's in WWE. He good to go. He's building himself up to become NXT champion. That's what it looked like down the road to me. All right. Speaking of that, WWE has to adjust their travel schedule since SmackDown be moved on Friday. So now SmackDown will go from live Fridays to Saturday, Sunday. Sunday depends on pay-per-views, and then to Monday. So the schedule is changing, and Raw will be from live on Monday to Friday. I think to Friday, some Thursday to Friday, something like that. So WWE's had to adjust their schedule and stuff like that coming up for SmackDown. And it moves to Fox in October, so that's a big reveal. Also, Seth Rollins sends new pics to Caitlyn, allegedly. And Caitlyn's ex-husband, reported and told a sports podcast that if he saw Seth Rollins in the street, he would want to knock him out. And Seth Rollins was sending new pics to Caitlyn. And Caitlyn was telling her husband at the time that he's just a furry guy. Well, Seth Rollins been in a lot of controversies late a couple of years ago. Remember, Seth Rollins sent a leaked photo of him over his private area, and people went uproar and crazy. So we decided Seth Rollins, it'll be his business on his given day. But hey, if your home record and he allegedly did that, then hey, Seth Rollins, hey dude, you should have told Seth Rollins. You could have told Brock Lesnar. You would have got him. You would get yourself most time more. Speaking of that, Mr. McMahon rewrites SmackDown 2 hours before it airs. A lot of people was wondering why Mr. McMahon would write SmackDown. He's been doing this lately, writing SmackDown correctly and running and turning up. So it's just that. It's just what's going on. The pressure getting mounted on Mr. McMahon on that. So you have to wonder on that too. It's pressure mounted on McMahon real bad. When Fox comes, they want a script and they want a final script, not no script that came 2 hours later. Speaking of that, Bobby Lashley, WWE superstar, undergoes surgery for an elbow injury and will be out till early November. So Bobby Lashley out with an undisclosed injury that we thought at the time related to be his elbow. Bobby Lashley trying to heal and get himself together, and we'll see Almighty down the road, down later on this fall and stuff. And finally, Gail Kim calls out WWE for their treatment and misuse of Asian talent. Gail Kim probably talking exactly about the women's tag team title, where Asuka and Kairi Singh are not being used to their potential and their utilization. Gail Kim saying that Kairi and Gail and Asuka are not being used as they should. They was propelled to be the next women's tag team champions. That didn't happen this past week on Raw. Sometimes you got the 1 to 2. Like Shinsuke Nakamura, he wasn't on the show this week. So you got the one what WWE is doing with these Asian talents that they have under their belt. Not making them look good. Gail Kim might have a point on that. She has a point, so we'll see on that. All right, that does it for Hot Topics this week. Let's continue on back to predict the outcome for WWE SummerSlam. SummerSlam, this is the second half. I'll predict the outcome for SummerSlam. All right. We go from where Kevin Owens challenges authority. And this is the old saying where Stone Cold challenged authority with Miss McMahon. Now, 20 years later, fast forward, got Kevin Owens challenging Shane McMahon. And now the match is added stipulation to this match where if Kevin Owens is losing, he must leave WWE. He must leave WWE. Now, KO tried to turn the table this week where he wanted Shane McMahon to go as well as the fans did too. But Shane McMahon said he's not going anywhere. I think, to me, if they were going to do that, they should have did it in the beginning, not at the end where things. And Shane McMahon tried to take advantage and capitalize where he had Elias and himself attack Kevin Owens during when Shane was a guest on Kevin Owens' show. And Shane beat down Kevin Owens, even flipped the table on Kevin Owens, and then had a chair and did his variation of a baseball slide, coast to coast on Kevin Owens, sending a message that he's coming for him at SummerSlam. Now, this happened 2 years ago as well. This is like a rematch from No Mercy. It's like Kevin Owens was a heel, Shane McMahon was a face. Now, fast forward, Shane McMahon's a heel, Kevin Owens is a face. I think face, if you be both face and heel, it works best. And you can tell the synergy, the chemistry between these two, Shane and Kevin Owens, and how this match is going to play out. And I believe at the end, Kevin Owens will win, and Shane McMahon should be the one going home, but they're not going to do that in WWE terms. So, speaking of that, one of the first women's championship matches to be defended is Bayley defends her championship against Ember Moon in the first time ever. Bayley won a competition. Now she's in competition where her and Ember Moon have been doing tit for tat for weeks in tag team matches and in single matches against different opponents. Now it comes to a head at SummerSlam where Bayley versus Ember Moon. I would say I like both competitors. Ember Moon with the Eclipse, but Bayley with the belly. I'm going with Bayley. Bayley's going to retain her SmackDown Women's Championship and keep it intact. So Bayley's going to stay SmackDown Women's Champion. And who knows, it might be a double turn coming up. And a lot of people wonder will Sasha Banks return and face Bayley? That's the $1 million question. So we'll see on that situation. Speaking of that too, on SmackDown, the WWE Championship match is on the line as Kofi Kingston, the champion, versus Randy Orton. Now, Kofi Mania has been riding high as of late, going against challenges of Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan, and Kevin Owens. And now Randy Orton, a former champion, and Kofi wants to get to that obstacle, has to get to the obstacle. Because Kofi and Randy Orton, this whole thing stemmed from 10 years ago when Kofi believed Randy Orton held him back. And now, 10 years later, it comes to a head at SummerSlam for the championship. And I think, Randy Orton will win the WWE Championship and Kofi Kingston will lose. And Kofi Kingston will get a rematch. And Kofi Kingston put on a brave effort throughout this whole process of being the WWE champion. And Kofi should be proud of himself and proud of what he had accomplished. He had done an incredible feat, but this is going to be his first and I hate to say it, his only run as WWE champion. And Kofi Kingston, well deserved in that. And I really do admire that for Kofi Kingston. Speaking of that, the WWE Raw Women's Championship is online as Becky Lynch defends her championship against Natalya, but in a submission match. Now this pans out for weeks as Becky Lynch attacked Natalya from behind from a training session, and now Natalya been so obsessed with doing submissions, and she wanted to do it on everybody she could put her hands on. Even Becky Lynch, she put the sharpshooter. Could Becky Lynch do the disarm on her and make her tap out, or when Natalya becomes new women's champion with the disarm? Something has to give. We'll find out at SummerSlam. But my personal opinion is I think Becky Lynch will retain the championship at SummerSlam against Natalya. And I think Natalya will have an ace up her sleeve as Ronda Rousey will return and try to attack Becky Lynch and get comeuppance for what she did to her at WrestleMania. And finally, the main event at SummerSlam will be Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins. Brock Lesnar, the new Universal Champion, versus Seth Rollins, the former champion. This whole thing escalated last month at Extreme Rules when Seth Rollins was during a match, a mixed tag match for his championship with his girlfriend Becky Lynch at the time against Baron Corbin and Lacey Hill. At the end, Seth won the match, but Brock Lesnar came out there, capitalized, cashed in on Seth Rollins, delivered the F5, and won the championship. Seth the next night went through a battle royal to earn himself another opportunity, a rematch against Brock Lesnar. And throughout the weeks, Brock Lesnar has been maiming, hurting, beating, battered, and fried Seth Rollins through F5s and Seth's ability to not give up, his determination. But Seth Rollins has an opportunity at SummerSlam to gain the championship. Unfortunately, I believe that Brock Lesnar will retain the WWE Universal Championship. Seth Rollins will give his effort, but he will come out looking like he lost. He lost for the people. He didn't have that momentum winning streak that he did at WrestleMania. So, they're trying. I'm believing Samoa Joe. They're building Samoa Joe right. I believe Samoa Joe might get a shot at the Universal Championship. But hey, that's all things is in wrestling. And we cannot forget that Roman Reigns does not have an opponent. But Roman Reigns' confusing storyline is late, as he has been trying to figure out who's trying to attack him, who's trying to, like the Stone Cold Steve Austin thing, who attacked me, who's trying to put a hit on me. And they say it was Roman, so I believe Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns will go against Daniel Bryan and Roman in their match. So SummerSlam should be a awesome matches card, where the biggest part of the summer, where you have 11 matches where we're going to see the best of the best, the athletes of WWE, the superstars of WWE compete, where the lights are on bright. And we will be watching as those lights will be on bright. All right, everyone. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. We'll be back next week where we review SummerSlam, Raw Report, SmackDown Report, and more hot topics that even we have to cover. So for the Pro Wrestling Show, I've been Kid G saying so long, and we'll see you at SummerSlam. See you later.